You just look dumb. Shut up. Don't talk to me like
I
that.
always look dumb, so it doesn't bother
You
me.
know what I didn't do?
But I think it bothers you.
I didn't do a volume check. It is absolutely bothering me. But the problem is if I don't wear them like that, you can't see the. Oh wait, hold on. I just want to see the ball on my hat. That's all I want to see. The little
He's
squishy ball
entertained by
right here.
balls.
Right?
That's disgusting. This is a family program. Thank you very much, and we will not have any kind of chit
The
chat
Manson
of
family.
the sort. Hey everybody, we're nerded up. We're live, by the way, guys. I didn't do a mic check, so fuck it. If we're too loud, just let us know. Oh no! Oh no! 30 seconds into like the third episode since I've tried to stop saying the F word so much. Whatever. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out at some point. Anyway. So, look, regularity. It's been less than a week, and we're actually doing a show again. Look at us. We can never get a time lockdown, and that's 1,000% my fault. But I kind of don't care, to be honest, right now. I'm lazy, and I've been playing Destiny. How are you guys doing this week?
I do.
That's
Doing well.
Yeah.
No one is sick in my family currently. I am happy.
Oh man, we can't get away from it. Before Thanksgiving, before we left for that Disney trip, even on the Disney trip, I was sick. And then Keaton gets another stomach virus, and it keeps running through our whole. I spent literally 2 days disinfecting everything, every blanket, sheet, surface, handle, door, mirror, animal, everything got disinfected. I just sprayed everything. The animals might get sick now, but as long as we're not sick, I don't care. It's been absolutely insane. But one thing that has been good is I've been playing Destiny again lately. And I think I'm like completely re-addicted to the game. I forgot how good Destiny was, and I just needed to take a break from it for a while. And Stefen, I don't know why you didn't tell me to come back and start playing it again, because Destiny is so good. It's such a fun game. And I love the Season of the Dawn update. It's not a lot of stuff, but it's enough to keep me in, like, that combined with the stuff I already had to do. It's enough to keep me interested.
Yeah.
Are you not too happy with it?
Screw you. That's all I'm saying. Like, I spent like the last like 6 months, not even 6 months, like a year.
Yeah.
Like a year to get this man to play Destiny.
It hasn't been a year.
Yeah,
it hasn't. It hasn't
been a year. You did not play through Forsaken.
Yes, I did. I played through Forsaken.
You played like the first week of Forsaken, and then you Forsaken.
No,
He
absolutely.
played through Forsaken. And then
Yeah,
absolutely
like literally through
The
it.
story
and
mode.
then that's it.
I did. I played. I didn't. No, I did more than just play through the story mode. The only thing that I didn't do in Forsaken is I never finished my Ace of Spades quest. What?
And you didn't do any of the DLCs.
I
You
did.
didn't do any of the Black Armor.
What was the first DLC? After Curse of Osiris is whenever I stopped.
Yes, and then after Forsaken is also the Black Armory, the Gambit Prime update.
So I did Forsaken. I didn't do Black Armory is where I stopped.
You did, yes, you didn't do any of the DLCs.
Okay,
So
you
didn't
got
play
me there.
for 9 months.
Okay, so it wasn't a year.
Okay? Sorry. All right, 11 months and minus a week. So you played a week into Forsaken.
Our friend Brandon, Sleepless Elite TV on Twitch, already says, but Fortnite has lightsabers. We'll get into that in just a minute. More the Star Wars talk, less because I did do the Fortnite event or the Star Wars event in Fortnite because my kids wanted to do it. It was actually pretty cool. But yeah, I've been playing Destiny a lot lately, and yes, it's taken me a while to get back into it. And mostly because I just spent so long away from it. Mostly because of Apex Legends and other games, and I was gonna come back and play a lot more when Shadowkeep came out. I was gonna start playing again right before Shadowkeep came out, and I just didn't care. I didn't have enough care, and then everything seemed really inundating. But then, like last week, we talked about if you consume it in a different way instead of being something where it's something that you have to get everything done right away. It makes it a more enjoyable experience. I was trying to play it like I play WoW. And you can't play Destiny. Well, some people might be able to play Destiny the way they play WoW. I can't play Destiny the way I play WoW. But if I think about it more in the way that I think about playing like Diablo 3 and games like that, I don't know, it just changed. That mindset change makes it a lot better for me. It makes it a lot easier for me. But I'm having fun with it, and I'm back. I've got Ace of Spades. I'm working on my Lumina. I'm working on my malfeasance. All these guns that I haven't had the chance to enjoy, I'm working on them all. And I've been playing predominantly. I have a new power ranking too for how to play Destiny. Number 1 is PC, far and above. It's just the experience from like a loading standpoint is incredible. But like then number 2 is Stadia. Then number 3 is not playing Destiny at all. And then number 4 is playing Destiny on the Xbox, I guess. Like if I have to, I'll play it on the Xbox. But the PC experience is just absolutely ridiculous. Brett's going to hate hearing this, but I've done better in Crucible with a controller on PC than I have in Crucible ever in Destiny because the PC crowd are a bunch of plebs that are super easy to kill. They just don't know how to play the game at all. Yeah, there you go. Shake your head.
No.
Shake your head. We'll have PC Master Race versus console fanboy war later in our main topic because we're going to talk about the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. I'm kind of on the fence with this. I don't know exactly how I feel, but I do have a theory about what Microsoft's trying to do, and I mean I don't know that it's like any kind of secret theory or any kind of special theory, but especially with the announcement of the Xbox Series consoles or whatever. Let me look at the rundown. I forgot. Usually I try to memorize what's on there, but I'm gonna actually have to look tonight.
Game Awards is next.
Is Game Awards next? Well, let's wait for that because I feel like that's going to be a better conversation. We'll talk about I jumped into the Fortnite Star Wars event with the kids, and it was pretty cool. Like the one thing, like Fortnite isn't the best game for everybody, and I don't particularly enjoy it, even though I've been forced to play it more with my kids lately. But I don't know about you guys. Give me your thoughts on this. Like there are very few games and developers / publishers that have been able to market and have out of game marketing and in game marketing the way Fortnite has. Have we ever seen and will we ever see again marketing like that within a game that has to do with the outside world? There were literally millions. Slasher actually had a really funny tweet. It was like 2.3 million views on YouTube for the Fortnite Star Wars event, 1.9 million views on Twitch, and 69 views on Mixer. So they got a lot of eyeballs. But I thought it was a cool event. Like they had J.J. Abrams with the J.J. Abrams avatar, and then they showed a scene from the movie. I was kind of disappointed in the length of the scene. It was kind of bullcrap. But they had like a whole Millennium Falcon scene, like in the game, fighting TIE fighters, which was pretty cool. And then everybody got lightsabers from a chest at the end and got to beat the crap out of each other to a score of 100, which was pretty awesome. So I don't know if you guys watched this or saw this, but just less from them doing a Star Wars thing and more from a Fortnite marketing standpoint. Like what game has ever done this, and is there any game out there that could do this the same way Fortnite does?
I don't know about no Star Wars, but Korn played a live concert in Adventure Quest Worlds, the MMO on PC.
Did they really?
Yeah. Well, actually, like in August. It wasn't that long ago.
That's ridiculous.
No, as far as like a big crossover event with like a marketing tie-in to anything real life. The only thing that I could maybe think of is when you could order Pizza Hut through EverQuest 2.
I forgot about that. Oh yeah, that would be the only thing. Like what's so incredible is the amount of licenses that they're getting from all these people, because I mean obviously a lot of it's Disney because they did Marvel before and now they're doing all the Star Wars stuff, but like my son had $50 from his birthday left over, and he was going to save that to buy a damn Xbox One S. I told him if he saved up enough money, and he could afford half of the Xbox, of an Xbox One S, and he saved up for it, I'd pay for the other half of it. I'd split it with him so he could have one to play. Mostly it's a way for me to get my Xbox back and not have to combat with my kids anymore, so I can actually play the damn thing. But instead of saving the money to get an Xbox, when those damn Star Wars skins came out, because they have the Finn and Rey skin, and they've got like the, what is it, the Trader like shock baton, and they've got like a TIE fighter glider. He dropped $35 to get all those things that he wanted. He had $50. He was literally, if he had gotten like the digital only Xbox, he was $25 away from having enough money to get an Xbox. And instead he's like, Fortnite Star Wars, let's do this. Sleepless, Brandon says it's less licensing agreements and more marketing for the other company's products, such as marketing for the new Star Wars movie. Yeah, I mean, but they're still these are still licensing agreements. They still have to agree on this. They still have to have some kind of contract in place that lasts for a certain period of time. Like big corporations like this, especially a company like Disney, isn't going to do a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So the fact that Epic and Fortnite has as much clout, like the Lone Exile said, is as long as you have top streamers like Ninja Lupo, Courage, Tim the Tatman, all those playing and having the eyeballs on the game the way they do, they're going to keep doing this. But the fact that a video game, I watched a movie in a video game. Like what the hell is 2019?
I'm honestly surprised Activision isn't just like trying to sell its soul for like WoW and all that crap, just to like throw random crap into those games at some point.
Yeah, well, I don't
like
think
the fan base wouldn't accept it as much, but like
what?
But I'm surprised Activision isn't just openly being like, let's just throw shit in our game.
I was so confused. I thought you were gonna say something else because you're like, but like, and then I thought the audio cut out. Shut up! It's your fault.
For them to do that though, I think they would need a similar platform to Fortnite, and no one really quite has a platform quite like Fortnite right now. And by that I mean how many kids that game has.
That's nuts.
It's quite insane. Maybe Roblox can like
Roblox
be
and
up
Minecraft.
there.
Minecraft could probably do it
Minecraft
easily.
could do it, and Minecraft has had crossover things with like skins and whatnot. Call of Duty is a little bit of an older audience. There's still a large number of kids, but they're definitely going
it's more
that
like
route.
15. It's 14 and up. The thing with Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft is you're getting kids that are like 6 years old and up, because the games and a lot of the content creators are making content that's specifically created for kids. I mean, my kids watch Roblox and Minecraft content like constantly. They watch Dennis Daly and the Pals, and they watch Dan TDM, stuff like that. Which these guys are making content specifically for kids. And like the amount of conversations that my son has about Fortnite with his friends, it's just like, I just want to slap them all and be like, dude, guys, I'll let y'all have this fun for about like 2 to 3 more years, and then I'm going to start actually crapping on, I'm almost cursed. I stopped myself. I'm going to start crapping on your hopes and dreams, because I'm going to tell you how many better games there are out there and why you shouldn't be playing these piles of garbage. Less about Fortnite, more about Star Wars. Okay? Let's get into that real fast. Not a super long conversation. In fact, I'm guessing it's going to be maybe a minute and a half or less. I'll be surprised if it goes over. Are either of y'all excited about Rise of Skywalker?
I have hopes, but they're not high.
Would you say you have a new hope?
Oh shit.
They're not. I'm not. I'm still not really quite sold on it. The thing that actually sold me the most on it would actually be J.J. Abrams and the crew kind of just crapping on The Last Jedi.
They tore Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi apart.
And that sort of... Now, that could just be to appease the fans. I don't know if that's honestly going to play out on the screen. But that kind of made me a little bit more excited, because I do believe Rian Johnson really botched that movie. Even if you take like storyline out and you disagree with like the major plot points, that movie, the way it just ended, was not what a second movie in a trilogy ends. No, it kind of was like, all right, now we got nowhere to go. Yeah, because like we're kind of done with everything. All right.
People have tried to say that at The Empire Strikes Back ended the same way, and we finished Empire today, then we watched Return of the Jedi, so we've got 2 movies left. We have tickets for 8:30 in the morning next Saturday, and The Force Awakens I enjoy, so I'll watch it, no problem, and then I have to sit through The Last Jedi somehow on Friday night. But I've heard people say, well, The Empire Strikes Back ends the same way. No, there was a very clear direction of where they need to go. They need to resolve they need to resolve the conflict between Luke and Darth Vader and Anakin, and they need to save Han Solo. Those were the two very clear directives that they had, and that they had to do. Are you telling me a spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie? Man, if y'all haven't seen Empire Strikes Back now and you get mad about that spoiler, you can really just go screw yourselves. But with The Last Jedi, and even Brandon yells spoilers. Come on, man. With The Last Jedi, it's there's literally no direction. It's like some kids saw some magic, now they want to do it. Like, that's the whole ending of the whole thing. And hearing J.J. Abrams talk about how they had a very clear path of how they wanted the series, I don't understand why. This is why I don't get Kathleen Kennedy. If you ended up ended up rehiring J.J. Abrams because Colin Trevorrow was put in a really, really bad spot to finish this series, right? And it isn't Colin Trevorrow he's getting the next trilogy, right? That's not gonna be the new Skywalker stuff. Is it him or is it Rian Johnson? One of those two is.
Supposedly. I think things are about to change. They were talking about he's getting the next trilogy. Mm-hmm. There was already talks, I think, this week where they were saying they're done with trilogies and that they don't foresee that as like the future of Star Wars. So we'll see what exactly happens. They could say one thing, do the other, or do one thing, say the other.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, Kathleen Kennedy sat in a meeting, like, and this is a lot of the stuff about what J.J. Abrams talked about how the process went. Don't worry, Brandon. We'll talk about Baby Yoda in a second because he's awesome. But this is what J.J. Abrams talked about, and Kathleen Kennedy talked about when the hardships of removing Colin Trevorrow from this movie and rehiring J.J. Abrams is they sat down in a meeting, all the higher ups at Disney, the people that have been on Lucasfilms for a really long time, her and J.J. Abrams, they sat down with the writers and fleshed out this story of how they wanted all three movies to go. Not just the first movie that he was directing. They had an entire timeline of how they wanted the trilogy to work out and how they wanted all three movies to work. Then why did you hire two other directors that weren't J.J. Abrams, that weren't sitting in the meetings for how you wanted this to play out? Like, why didn't you just hire J.J. Abrams for all three movies and avoid any kind of issues or troubles or confrontation? She's made she had to bring in freaking why can't I remember his name? The redheaded actor that was in the Andy Griffith Show and Happy Days.
Oh,
Carrot Top.
Not Carrot Top. No, that's not him.
Little Opie Cunningham.
Ron Howard. Thank you very much. Ron Howard. She ended up having to bring him into Solo because it wasn't done the right way. Like, quit trying to take chances on directors that don't have enough chops because you think they might be good at it. Go hire you're freaking Disney and you're Star Wars. Go hire the guy that's going to do it the right way. And did Brandon really just call Baby Yoda? Oh my God! You said Baby Yeet, and then he said Baby Yeetle. Jesus, I get distracted so easily. But that's my frustration with Kathleen Kennedy. If you had a very clear direction of where you wanted this to go, and then you decided to go hire other directors, like, you can't be surprised when Rian Johnson tries to, quote, subvert our expectations and go a direction that he wants to see it go. And a lot of people have been like, oh my God, because this all came up this last week, and I was reading all these tweets and all these articles about it. And people are saying Rian Johnson did things that we've never seen in the cinematic world. He subverted our expectations of what this established universe was supposed to be. If he started from scratch with a brand new trilogy or his own standalone movie and wanted to take some of those things and like throw some of the lore and some of the mechanics of how the universe works and throw them out the window in his own story that he created, totally fine with that. Take that artistic creativity. But the problem is you're taking a storyline and a saga that is stretched out over 7 movies at this point, and then you try to throw everything out the window for it. And everything that was set up in The Force Awakens then didn't matter after the end of The Last Jedi. And then, like, he had no idea how, like, military tactics work, and he had no, like, why would they not know to go to that planet to find Finn if they were trying, like, come on. There's just so many things that, like, so many issues with that movie. You had Princess Leia flying through the air like Superman. You had him. Snoke doesn't matter anymore. Rey's lineage doesn't matter anymore in a saga where it's all about lineage. And I get where people say, well, he's Rage Against the Machine, man. Well, people don't watch Like, people don't watch Star Wars movies to understand the reality of you don't matter and your lineage doesn't matter. People watch Star Wars movies because we want to see laser swords and we want to remove ourselves from reality for a little bit. And that's where Rian Johnson screwed up. But honestly, it's not his fault. It's Kathleen Kennedy's fault for bringing him into the project in the first place when he wasn't even there to be a part of the plan of what the future was going to be.
How much of Rise of Skywalker is going to be backtracking?
The first half of it. The first half of it has to all be backtracking.
I think you could go about it in like real, and I think I even said this when the movie came out, that I fully believe that I was giving Rian Johnson way too much credit, but now I hope it just plays out this way, that certain things were just tricks. Mm-hmm. Like when Rey falls into the dark side pit bullshit, whatever the fuck that was, I don't care.
There's more than one Rey. There's many Reys now.
And it's just sort of like, your parents don't matter. It's just you. You're by yourself. I took that as a very, like, evil thing.
To manipulate her.
Yeah, like basically going like, you are alone. You are alone and nothing, like, matters. Mm-hmm. For someone who's searching their whole life for something, instead of, like, giving them that, like, validation, that, like, finality of, like, finding it, it was just like, your search is pointless, you're by yourself. Now, I get that it was supposed to be, like, an empowering thing.
Right.
That did not come across that way to me. And then, to top it off, the person saying that your parents don't matter is Kylo Ren, a Sith user. He's evil. Like, so I think you could easily just go, you were tricked. Like her family shows up, or someone comes to save her, or a Force ghost or something like that, and just go, you were tricked. You're actually Qui-Gon's kid, or fucking whatever you're gonna do with it.
The first 10 minutes are just, all of a sudden Chewbacca wakes up, tries to yell about what's going on, and everyone's like, you're drunk. And then they just continue on.
Lone Exile's asking, which was worse, The Last Jedi or Season 8 of Game of Thrones?
Season 8 of Game of Thrones, hands
down. They vote
for
Thrones. At least both Benioff and Weiss and Johnson got to subvert everyone's expectations by making a steaming pile of crap.
Rian Johnson at least tried to create something interesting. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have recently, within the last month and a half, admitted that they had no idea what they were doing, and that they were learning how to do the job on the fly and had no idea how to end the series. And they said they didn't believe in magic, they didn't believe in destiny, they didn't believe in any of those kinds of things in storytelling. They thought that was something. There's one quote where it's like, you write about destiny and magic in third grade short stories, not in this. So they didn't give a shit about that. And then to make it worse is season 8 of Game of Thrones, there was a finality to it. They're not continuing it anymore. That was the end. That's how they left us. At least there's a chance to salvage. A slim chance. I don't have a ton of expectations, but there's a slim chance to salvage what The Last Jedi was, just based off of what Stefen was just saying. And we had a conversation in Destiny. We were playing Destiny, and I remember running back and forth in Destiny in the tower while we were just having this random conversation, or we were having a conversation after The Last Jedi released. And we were talking about how The Last Jedi could not necessarily be on the same level as Empire Strikes Back, but become a very Empire Strikes Back-y kind of movie, depending on what they did with this next movie. So if this next movie's good and they use some of the things that happen in The Last Jedi as a setup for a really cool ending, then The Last Jedi is not going to be as bad, because it'll be a setup for the greater movie. So The Last Jedi, not great standalone, but at least it could be solved. That's why season 8 Game of Thrones is way worse. What do you think, Brett?
I honestly didn't watch season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You just gave...
Yep. Everyone was talking so much shit, I was just like, all right, cool. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time. I got video games.
Brandon says, just say bad game, don't play it. Easy way to describe Destiny. Not true. Great game. Lone Exile says he's playing Destiny right now and having a bad time. Oh, comp solo. I did my Recluse. I got the Recluse in a day. I got the Recluse in less than a 24-hour period. It's so easy to get now. And comp on PC with a controller is so much better than any. It's so easy. Playing survival, I went on like an 11-game win streak and was just destroying those PC plebs with my controller. It was awesome. The Lone Exile says he's trying to get Legend again. Yeah, I'm not going to go that far. Okay, so Star Wars comes out on Friday. I'm going on Saturday. Do you guys even have tickets for it yet or no?
No.
No, Stefen, honestly, that feels like you usually have tickets to movies before any of us do. So that, like, to me, that's telling.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, partially just forgot that it was happening.
That's always good.
How?
Like,
They've been releasing a trailer every, like, third day.
Actually, it's not being that heavily advertised. I don't know if you guys keep up with, like, the Red Letter Media guys. They just released a video about how much they're trying to, like, fix the marketing right now for Star Wars. And like they're trying to make people remember that Star Wars is a thing, and by doing like really bad viral marketing. I don't know if you saw the story that they released on late night that who plays Finn again?
I can't remember his name.
This is John, right?
John Boyega.
John Boyega, yeah. John Boyega got like really drunk at like a rap party in his hotel room or something like that, and left like a script under his bed. And then, like, supposedly a cleaning lady, like, found it and then tried to put it up on eBay or something. But, like, the Disney Gestapo came and got the script back before she sold it. And they were talking about how it was, like, printed on ink that can't be photocopied. So that way that they could... That part I believe. But you know what they can't do? Stop it from being cell phone cameraed. Yeah, like you could just take a cell phone camera to each page of that. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like that's some like bullcrap story just to like drum up like ooh, that's so under wraps. It's so secret, and just J.J. Abrams was like hinting at like a cameo of like Oshaka from like the Clone Wars, Ahsoka, Shaka, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, in an interview, like some reporter was like, "Yeah, my favorite character in the like Star Wars universe is Ahsoka." He's like, "Oh, you should probably keep a close eye out in the next movie then."
I like how they
just like
in some of these movies. I like how they've been using some of the Clone Wars and Rebels as like canon that they're using in the movies. Because we just watched Solo for the first time this weekend.
Sorry.
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it had some rough parts, but I think it's a pretty fine standalone movie. But like spoiler if you haven't seen Solo, I'll say spoiler this one. But at the end they show Darth Maul, and a lot of people forget that Darth Maul is alive technically in the Star Wars universe and Star Wars canon because they were shown that he survived by eating rats and had like spider legs and then robot legs and crap through the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. So I kind of like that they're using that. They're trying to build it almost. Trying to build the universe out almost the same way they did with Marvel by adding stuff in from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and things like that. I think that's kind of cool.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Because like I think at this point a lot of these things that people are like hanging on to are grabs to get your nostalgia going.
I mean,
like Rogue One, like I remember people going, "Did you see Darth Vader? Can we do a movie without Darth Vader, please? Do we honestly need Darth Vader again?" Or I heard that about Rogue Solo too. They're like, "Oh yeah, you see it for the Darth Maul scene," and I'm like, "Can we stop just grabbing at these things?"
People said that you need to see the movie just for that one off-handed scene.
Yeah, it's because the acting is terrible in that movie.
I honestly didn't have a problem with it. I kind of liked Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. Like you're not going to get as good as Harrison Ford, but I actually didn't think it was terrible. Some of the parts were a little cringy, but for the most part, I thought it was good.
Well, you shouldn't be cringing in like a AAA Star Wars movie.
I cringe in some of the AAA Marvel stuff that's come out too. Like at this point, I guess maybe it's Stockholm syndrome where like I just expect a lot of what Disney releases to have some cringy moments and have some cool moments. And Solo definitely had some cool moments in it. They could have hired somebody better than Beckett or somebody better than Woody Harrelson to be Beckett. I didn't really love him as Beckett, but
because he did not care what he was doing.
No, not even. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
I really like Woody Harrelson too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Woody Harrelson, but that's part of why I was saying like the acting so bad. Like Harrelson clearly did not care what he was doing. Someone said, "Mr. Harrelson, would you like a multi-million-dollar paycheck for minimal effort? All you have to do is be a name."
The only movie I've seen him care less about being playing a part in is the freaking Hunger Games movies. That's the only time I've ever seen him care less as an actor. Is in the Hunger Games movies. But yeah, I like Solo. I'm excited to wake up at 8:30 in the morning and go see a Star Wars movie with my kids. But it's weird. I'm excited for the event of it. I'm not excited for the movie itself. But we'll see how good it is. But there's better Star Wars stuff to talk about real fast. How have y'all both watched episode 6 of The Mandalorian?
No.
Hey, Brett, you have? Stefan, you haven't? I'll just say this, and especially since Stefan hasn't seen it, hands down my favorite episode of the season so far. The cameos are absolutely incredible, and once again, Baby Yoda steals the show.
Every episode of The Mandalorian is good, but it has not gone anywhere.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Like the story arc. Every single episode is The Mandalorian being like, oh, I'm going to show Baby Yoda to all these people I shouldn't show him to, and now I'm in trouble. I'm like, oh, this is cool, but like, have you not learned? Like,
but again, I think that harkens back to like what I was saying. It's like a fear of doing like a true story, and as much as I do enjoy The Mandalorian, almost all of it is just like, hey, remember Star Wars? Bounty hunters, Yodas. Like, it's not like it doesn't feel like we're getting a good narrative.
But the Lone Exile is making a good point. It's based on a serial western. It makes sense with a different adventure each week.
Yeah,
like it feels
like the same adventure to me.
I kind of disagree with that. Like it's similar in the fact that he's constantly trying to find jobs to make money. Yeah. Right? So like he keeps getting into situations and into trouble for one of two reasons, because people are trying to get Baby Yoda from him, or he's trying to take jobs to get money. But it does have it has a real large Firefly theme to it, where Firefly had an overarching theme, but they didn't follow it a whole lot. There's a lot of times where you just go into an episode, you play through it, and it doesn't really do anything to advance the story, except for like a few episodes here and there advance the storyline.
But Firefly had very different plots for those episodes. Like, I agree with Brett on this. The plot is pretty much go to new planet, try to take cover. Oh no, that did not work.
I think that's why I like.
Move on.
I think that's why I like this new episode, because it does. To me, the episode 6 didn't feel like that. Episode 6 felt like it had a new plot, had a bunch of cameos, new characters. It was really interesting, the storyline that they used for it. This was the last episode I didn't really love too much, because it felt, oh, they're back on Tatooine, and
so
oh my
answer
God.
me this.
Okay.
Are these characters going, not like things that we just magically say maybe later, but are these characters going to go from episode 6 to 7 with him?
No, they're not.
Okay. No. And and the same thing with what's her face and the mercenary chick.
Yeah, from episode 3, I believe.
Yeah, where she's like, I'll probably see you again later. A lot of these characters are just being introduced right now to be product selling points, and it's really bothersome.
Right.
Yeah.
We learned a little bit about the Mandalorian's past in this last episode, I will say, but like, I'm still just like, I want progress with what's going to happen to Yeet a little bit, just like some direction.
It's Baby Yoda. We're not calling him Yeet or Yeetle. Neither of those things. But the Lone Exile says episodes 1, 3, and 6 don't follow that through line.
One was
go ahead.
Understandably different because it introduced.
It's an establishing episode.
It's an establishing episode.
Once
he got the baby, every episode's been like, I'm gonna go do this thing. Oh no, someone saw Baby Yoda. Now I'm going to have to do something to make sure that information doesn't get out.
I don't feel this last one didn't feel like that to me. The episode,
it wasn't
episodes 4 and 5. Episodes 4 and 5 felt like that. Episode 3, I will say I am frustrated that they marketed this show to have the
Ghost
robot.
Stars.
They had the robot, and then they had the mercenary chick. Like, they've been in all the posters and everything, and they're not going with them. So I will agree that I'm super frustrated that they're not carrying those characters along. And I didn't realize I was frustrated at that until Stefen. I did think about it one time after episode 3 when she's like, "Oh no, I have to stay here. I can't go with you." But then I forgot about it. But episode 6, the characters that he comes across are less friends and allies and more adversaries. That's why they're not going to follow into the next episode. What's happening? I think Stefen's dying.
Grab this right over here. All right. See, this is my problem with this.
Okay.
All right. My wife bought me this for Christmas.
Yeah.
We're really for people who don't know,
y'all are terrible at Christmas.
We're really bad at Christmas, and basically when gifts like show up, we just give them to each other. So it's like super extended Hanukkah. Begins maybe in November sometimes.
No, y'all haven't begun in November. This was the earliest y'all began. You messaged us. I think it was December 2nd.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So she bought me this IG-11 Funko Pop, which, like, I think they existed the week of The Mandalorian coming out. Like, the marketing for the show is insane, and it feels like, as I said, just a vehicle for merchandise. And we know historically merchandising is where you make most of your money for anything. Mm-hmm. And we're just throwing characters and plot lines at you to sell things like IG-11 bobbleheads. And just coming on, I just got done with all 10 episodes of The Expanse season 4. Coming down from a high sci-fi show that's got like a very like stringent plot of like what's going on. It's really kind of upsetting to, as much as I do love The Mandalorian. It's a lot of fun. The plot sucks. Like it's just kind of non-existent.
Well, that being said,
how many more episodes to figure out something?
Well, there's only 2 more episodes left in the season, so I think in these next 2 episodes we're gonna figure out more. So honestly, all the episodes from episode 3 to episode 6, this feels more about the progression of the Mandalorian trying to keep Baby Yoda with him, and the progression of those two together.
This episode this week is I guarantee you made to make you go see the current Star Wars movie, because again, remember, this episode doesn't release on Friday.
When does it release?
On Wednesday.
Does it really? Oh,
yes.
Those slick little bastards.
So so don't stay home and watch The Mandalorian. Come on out, watch The Mandalorian on Wednesday and see your Star Wars. And we just had J.J. Abrams said, yeah, there could be some crossover from The Mandalorian to like current Star Wars and stuff like that. I guarantee you we're going to see something. Maybe The Mandalorian shows up as like a background character. Maybe it's grown-up Baby Yoda. I think my friend said
Strange brings everyone in. Final fight.
My friend said it best. He's like, I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but all I'm gonna do is every time I walk around someone saying something about Star Wars, I'm gonna just go, man, I can't believe he grew up in that movie.
So we went way longer on the Star Wars talk than I honestly thought we would.
Yep.
That minute and a half turned into like 20 and a half minutes. But that I'm fine with that. So let's move away from Star Wars and back into video game stuff, and let's start with the video game awards. And I don't know. Honestly, I didn't think this was going to be a long conversation either. But I'm not going to talk about how short of a conversation it's going to be, because who freaking knows at this point. But we'll talk about the game awards. I mostly don't give 2 craps about the game awards. I normally don't really pay attention to it. I don't vote. I did this year for some reason, but I don't always vote on the games. But this is the only thing I'll say about it. When I looked at the Game of the Year nominees, all I could think about was how pathetic 2019 was for video games. Like, I only played 2 of the games on the list. One of the games I did not play. I know it was really, really good. I just couldn't vote for it because I didn't have my own hands-on experience with it. Control. It was the nominees for Game of the Year were Control, Death Stranding, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Resident Evil 2. I know they remastered it, but Jesus Christ, guys, we've played the game before. I played the game so many times. Who cares about Resident Evil 2? Game of the Year, my ass. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, love Smash Brothers. Should never be a Game of the Year candidate ever. And the Outer Worlds. I voted for the Outer Worlds because it's the only one on this list that I played that I think deserved to be on there. I heard Control was really good. I didn't play it. It's probably not that great because people always just want to talk up PlayStation exclusives like they're God's gift to humankind.
Well, it's not a PlayStation exclusive, right?
I thought Control was.
I think it's coming to everything. I think it might be maybe a timed exclusive, but I don't think it is.
Oh no, the PS4 has exclusive content. Whatever. Like the Control didn't have it. It didn't seem like a game that seemed that interesting. Death Stranding. All I've heard. We talked about it. The three of us on the show. It was this talking about how it was just like a walking simulator, and you're essentially a UPS man with a baby. Resident Evil 2 came out 20 years ago, and for some reason we're giving two shits about it again, even though just because it was remastered. Super Smash Brothers was good. Now I know Sekiro was very good, and if I had played it as a From Software game, as somebody who loves those games, if I played it, I might have voted for that over the Outer Worlds. The only game on this list, though, that I know definitively was very good was the Outer Worlds. But like this, I'll say this: I felt weird voting for the Outer Worlds as Game of the Year. So Sekiro, having played it, probably would have voted for it. But like in years past, I've thought about like what would be Game of the Year, and there's one game that's very clearly I'm like, oh shit, that one wins. That's the game that deserves it. Like the first one that comes to mind is God of War. When the new God of War came out, I absolutely fell in love with that game. I know I just talked shit about PS4 exclusives, but whatever. But God of War I loved. It was a really, really good game. Every single year when I'm thinking of Game of the Year, there is one game where I'm like, dude, that was far and above better than anything else that anybody did. And I just I voted for the Outer Worlds out of just because there was nothing else. That 2019 sucked for video games, guys.
Sleepless asked, do you think Apex Legends deserve to be on Game of the Year instead of? Yeah, I think it's better than Resident Evil 2 and Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Totally agree with that.
I disagree with that totally.
You think it's...
I mean, Apex is... I don't think... You have to have... It's just too little content.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore now, but you have to take pretty much every game on... You have to take every game on launch. Like, again... I don't know. The as far as like what's on there, Smash is an insane game. Smash is something to be fucking marveled over with what they managed to do. And now there's actually real talk of like Master Chief being in the game, like next DLC, which it makes sense with the way that Nintendo and Microsoft have been real buddy. Smash is something to be... If you're going to put a fighting game up there, I think that's the fighting game of the year. Now, the question comes down to, do you put a fighting game up for game of the year? Should it just be story-driven games? I don't know. Apex had such a dip of like, it was at the top of its game for then 2-3 weeks. I probably wouldn't even say that. Maybe a month. I would give it at least a month. And then like it just dipped, and I don't know, like with a game without anything going for it, like even Smash has like a crazy story mode, so I don't know.
I would put it, maybe not Smash, but I would definitely put it in there over Resident Evil 2. I absolutely put it in there over Resident Evil 2. I don't think a remaster should ever make it to Game of the Year, ever.
Resident Evil 2's weird in that it's not just a remaster.
They added kind of stuff, but like...
Well, there's definitely a reimagining of things. So, but it's a hard call on that. I'm not a big fan of these that they're releasing, because it kind of reminds me of like Resident Evil Chapter 0 that they did and whatnot. I'm kind of tired of rehashing old Resident Evil content that they've been doing since like the Wii. But I do agree that this year was pretty crap for most games. But as someone who played Sekiro was far and away the best thing to come out this year.
And that's the one, like once I play it, I'll probably be like, holy crap, yeah, now I see why this was the winner. but I really don't think it had it. I don't think it had great competition. Like the Outer Worlds, take Sekiro off there, and you vote for, let's just say, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Super Smash Brothers, and the Outer Worlds. Would the Outer Worlds be the game that you would vote for your game of the year? Taking Sekiro off of the list.
That would be hard for me. I have not played Control. Everything that I've seen really interests me, and Remedy is one of my favorite studios of all time. Because they did Alan Wake, which is up there for one of my favorite games of all time, and Max Payne. Like they're both great series, and they're my style game. Even with like Quantum Theory, I know a whole lot of people didn't play Quantum Theory, but I think that was just like a kind of an achievement in gaming and trying to do what Defiance did, but actually doing it properly. Other than that, I don't know. I think Death Stranding's an awful game.
It got best gift for game direction.
No,
it was a good movie. I think.
That's why it got best game direction, because it was a great movie.
I wouldn't even say best direction. Kojima doesn't have a direction. Dude is off his rocker at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd have to see like a comprehensive list of everything that came out. The big problem, I think, is that if I were to look at that list, I think it would be some smaller indie game that would be like game of the year for me.
Yeah.
But I think the indie studios are doing a lot better stuff than a lot of AAA studios right now.
That's one thing.
By kind of forgoing graphics and focusing on other things.
That's one thing that I love about what Xbox is, and they're ramping it up even more. I mean, they've been doing this for a couple of years now, but they're ramping it up even more. But Microsoft is really pushing the indie scene more and more. And they're making a huge push right now, and I love seeing that. Apex Legends won multiplayer game, but what a banner year for multiplayer games. We had games, right. the likes of, like, Borderlands 3 was a great multiplayer game. Apex Legends, obviously, I freaking love that game. But, like, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, known as a horrible, horrible bust, and the video that I'm finally done with, that I just need to post, of 2019's biggest video game failures, Tom Clancy's the Division 2 is on that damn list, and it was on multiplayer game of the year. Tetris 99, maybe people love that. I mean, but it's Tetris, dude. Come on,
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's fair, and if it's fun, that's great. But also, it's Tetris. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because Modern Warfare always makes it on the multiplayer game list. But, like, what a trash year. Like, you just look at all, like, going through all of this, like, it was just such an absolute garbage trash year. Honestly, Game of the Year should have been Untitled Goose Game, because I finally got that and I've been playing it and it's awesome. But, like, it's just an absolute, 2019 was absolute shit. I said it. I cursed. It was shit for video games. And you want to know what's even worse? If you look at the timing and the releases of known release dates for games in 2020, there isn't really, honestly, a good substantial title coming out until like May. We're literally going to go half a year in 2020 without a good game release. Like, the video game industry is kind of becoming a massive pile of crap. And they're just releasing a bunch of garbage, just hoping people will buy it and consume their content. And spend money on DLCs and spend money on in-game tokens and currencies, so they'll buy skins that they don't really need. Like, it's just more and more becoming about popularity and money grabs instead of creating something awesome. And I think that's why I'm falling back in love with Destiny 2 so much. It's because Destiny 2 did win best community support, and it absolutely should win best community support, because Bungie has done such an incredible job with making that game better. And I feel like very, very few other studios, I feel this way a little bit with Respawn, but definitely mostly with Bungie. There are very few studios that actually give a crap about making good content for the people that play their games, and Bungie has done that. But, like, I think video games, just for the most part, there used to be a time where you'd have like 4, 5, 6 good games released in a year. I think we'll be lucky moving forward to have 2 games, like 2 legitimately good games released in the same year from now on, because everybody's just out to release games as early as possible, make as much money as they can on it, and they don't care about what the games are like. It's garbage. Absolute trash. Any final thoughts on the Game Awards?
No.
No, disappointing. Just nothing but disappointment. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, the Game Awards has never been anything stellar. Um, I do agree that I think AAA games are going by the wayside.
Yes, AAA. That's I will say I will the caveat. I'm talking almost exclusively AAA titles. Sorry.
And I don't know if that's a function of what it takes to produce a AAA game in the current age of gaming. I guess I don't know. I think we're in a revolution for indie games, but at the same time, it might not be good for the industry as a whole, just because of the amount of work that these indie games have to do to become relevant.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if you guys watched a couple years ago, they did the documentary about following like Super Meat Boy and a couple other big indie games out there, and like it's taking a small group or one individual basically sacrificing their entire life to make a game.
Yeah.
And as much as I love games,
It's not worth that.
I don't know if that's where we should be going as an industry.
Well, but
So I don't know. It's a weird discussion.
publishers, especially now, publishers need to allow for more time for creating games. Stop trying to push them out as fast as possible, and stop trying to push out new iterations every year or two. Take the however long you need to take to create a game and budget within that. But like it's all because they're trying to push out games as fast as possible. I really want to like looking at this indie game list real fast before we move on to the Xbox series. I really want to play like For My Friend Pedro and Outer Wilds are both on Game Pass. I don't know if Disco Elysium is. I think it is. Disco Elysium actually they was the winner for Fresh Indie Game. But For My Friend Pedro looks like it's a lot of fun. Outer Wilds, I've heard, is really, really good. Untitled Goose Game was also nominated. I know that game's good. Like, indie games, for the most part, are the games that I'm really, really enjoying. And so I really want to run through these and, like, maybe stream trying out some of these indie games. But
Slay the Spires, I haven't played it myself, but there's a couple guys that I know that love that game.
Is that a roguelike game?
I don't even know.
It's like almost like a tower defense, right?
It's a deck building.
Like you gotta protect your town, right?
Yeah, I think so.
From like zombies or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
I looked at it and I remember going within 5 minutes. I'm like, not for me, and moved on.
Brandon says Respawn is actually apparently flying players out to their studio to give them advice on future updates for Apex. I love that. Like, I do think Respawn realizes how big of a mistake they made in the beginning with Apex Legends, and they're doing everything they can to fix it. And
they did that before the game even came out.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Keep doing
they
it.
had Shroud was playing the game at Respawn Studios before the game came out, because they had him to help tune like the shooting mechanics and whatnot.
Well, the shooting mechanics are incredible, but have them come out to figure out what kind of content. But they're doing a better job of releasing more content. I've been really happy with the last couple of seasons of Apex. I'll say this: Tim the Tatman, I freaking love watching him, and he didn't win Best Streamer and wasn't even nominated. I didn't realize he wasn't even nominated. So the Lone Exile says Slay the Spire is a roguelike CCG. So that seems pretty cool. Man, yeah, I want to play some of those indie games. So in the rundown, full disclosure, everybody, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. In the rundown that we have, everything that we've done for the last, how long have we been going? Let me look at the time. Everything that we've done for the last 58 minutes is all under intro. I had that under the intro. So the last 58 minutes has been the intro to the show, guys. Now let's get into the meat. No, obviously,
let's do this.
We had multiple topics, and I underestimated how much we were going to talk about a lot of these things. So with this one, watch this end up being the shortest conversation that we have of the entire night. It's gonna be, because every time I make plans, they never work out the way I want them to. But anyway, so we'll get into our, quote, main topic, a.k.a. topic number 4 in actuality, and that's the Xbox Series X console. So Microsoft announced that it's going to come out with the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And it looks pretty legit. It's going to be an incredibly powerful machine. It looks like a really weird tower, like short. It looks like a micro PC, kind of, in a way. And that's essentially what it is. It's essentially just a micro PC with super high-powered CPU, GPU, SSD. I don't know how much it's going to be using. The Series X, I think it's going to be using an AMD, right? It's not going to be using. Okay, so it's going to be using AMD. It's going to have GDDR6. I think it's supposed to have around 12 teraflops of graphical performance, kind of like I have with my wife. 12 teraflops, you know what I mean? Another way you would describe the Series X as a bulky box, you could describe me as that way too. I don't know why I'm saying that. That's not funny. It sounds so much funnier in my head before I tell jokes like that, and then I tell them, I'm like, man, why? But so they're gonna have an AMD. It's gonna have ray tracing. It's gonna be up to 8K, but 4K 60 FPS. So it's literally, it's a pretty nice machine, even based off of PC standards, that you're gonna be able to do console gaming. But if you look at all the components that are built into it, there is no way that this console is gonna last. It's gonna cost less than $600. Absolutely no.
I bet it will.
How? Okay. How? Okay, explain. Both of y'all explain real fast, because I don't know how it can cost less than that.
You take the hit. You take the hit.
You just take the hit.
It's the same way that other companies have done it before. People, what was it? The cost to produce a PS3 on launch was something like $1,200, I think, to make a PS3, and they were selling them for $500. Some of them were $600. Things like that. Like, companies have been, pretty much every company except Nintendo will take hits. Now, if they want to really shove their foot in the door, they're going to take a bigger hit, and it's Microsoft, so they can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
along with
true.
taking the hit, though, is also when you say all these parts and stuff that you're putting into it, the deals they get from AMD just for using this, I'm sure, is going to take a bit off that even.
Well, and a lot of that too is that a lot of this is proprietary, custom-made stuff that they did. So, like, they're not paying these consumer prices. So, for example, they're using, I think, the hard drive is one NVMe drive. I think. I don't know if there's an
That's what's been said so far.
Yeah. So a terabyte NVMe drive is like 150 maybe, like maybe 200 on a bad day. And they're not paying for that. They even said that it's a custom drive, which is huge. NVMe drives are one of the best things to come out for like PCs. Like the performance that it will do is just insane.
Seeing frame rates of up to 120 FPS on a console would be absolutely insane, and this thing it'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it will easily be able to do that. I think they can shove a lot in the box because it's a custom, custom rig.
Jesus,
it's terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm a child. Go ahead. Continue.
Yes, you are. And I think a lot of it too is that they're not planning to monopolize the console market. They're now trying to portray Xbox as a brand that goes everywhere with you, to your PC, to your console, to your cell phone. And I think that's where they're going to try to push things. They're going to go with the freedom to play what you want, where you want idea.
They've been doing that for a while, too.
They have been, and I think they're going to just give you the option of using a console if you so choose to not have a gaming PC.
And that's essentially the theory that I mean. It's not a theory. It's just the writing has been on the wall for a while. What I really think that the Series X is, and why I don't think they'll care about having a higher price point. So from what I've seen, it's expected to be anywhere between $350 and $550. So let's say it's a $500 price point, or let's go as low as $450. Or $400, whatever it is. Like, that's still a little bit more compared to when you could spend $200 for an Xbox One S, right? And so Phil Spencer the other day, he had a quote saying, "It's not about how many consoles you sell. and he doesn't. I don't think he wants to get into another console war. Microsoft has no plans to get into another console war. Essentially, what the Series X, this new Xbox Series is going to be, and what they really want this to be, is it's going to be a personal home server. If you want a more powerful gaming console without needing to buy a gaming PC, then you can have this. But the way they want to set it up is for this to be like a cloud server for Project X Cloud, because right now with Project X Cloud, and with Xbox game streaming, the way it works is you can either choose to stream from your Xbox while you're on your own home network, or you can stream from Project X Cloud. That's what I've been doing. I was doing it all night tonight, going back and forth between the two, and what this will be able to do, because of how quick it is and the way it's supposed to work, is they want this to be a home server where you can access your Xbox from anywhere to play your own personal Xbox game library on your laptop or on your phone or on your tablet from anywhere. The way you can with the idea behind Stadia, with the game streaming idea. I don't think they give a shit if everybody buys this console or not. They don't care. And so if the price point's a little bit higher, they're not going to care, because they know they're creating this console for a super niche market. Like, parents aren't going to go and spend $400, $500 on a console for their kids when we know that the S and the X are still going to work for another 5 or 10 years. They're still going to be able to play the same games in this library. The Series is a next generation console, but not really. I really feel like we're completely done with generational gaming because of how everything's cross-play now. You can play anything at any time on anywhere for the most part, and it's going to continue going that direction. So generational gaming is gone, and it's more upgraded hardware every time. It's not going to be generations anymore, and so you're still going to be able to play the same games on the S and the X. And Microsoft wanted to do this with the 360 and the Xbox One. It just didn't work out that way because of where the market was. It wasn't ready for it. But so you can get the S or the X. You can, if you want to spend the money for a home server, then you can get the Series X or the Series S, whichever one that you want. Or if you just want to pay for game streaming, you can get Project X Cloud. You can pay for Game Pass, you can pay for X Cloud, and you can do that. But the day, like, for me, honestly, moving forward within the next 5 years, in saying this, I know full well that as soon as pre-orders come out, I'm probably going to pre-order a Series X like immediately as soon as I can. But for me, moving forward right now, I really just see a world where when game streaming is a little bit easier. I have had no issues with any game streaming so far. My Stadia works perfectly. My Project X Cloud works perfectly. The only time I have a few issues is streaming my Xbox on my home network. That's the only time I have issues with game streaming, but it's really not that bad. But I see a future where I only either play games on through game streaming and things like Stadia and xCloud, or on PC. I don't see myself having a home console except for the kids. I haven't bought a physical copy of a game in such a god-awfully long time. I don't see myself buying physical copies anymore, and that's the future of where this is going. This is a novelty thing. This isn't meant, like Phil Spencer's and Microsoft, they're not making this console for this to go out and sell like 1 billion consoles and win the quote console wars of this generation. This is just supposed to augment what they've already got out there. Yeah, and see that, like Brandon says it, I think this is 100% a transition for Microsoft to move things to the PC gaming world. I don't think it's a transition to fully go there. It's more of this is a setup to continue to allow people to play, like Stefen said, anywhere they want, anytime they want, with whoever they want to play it with in those moments. And the more games allow cross save and cross play. That's why they're making a big push with Xbox Game Pass on PC. Like, they just want to make it to where their world, they realize, especially with as big as PC gaming is now and as big as gaming is getting, where Microsoft can beat Sony is they have an entire PC and internet infrastructure that Sony can't compete with. Like, Sony can't just all of a sudden come out and be like, okay, well, we've got our own operating software now. We got an operating system, and now we have Sony PCs. Please come buy these, and these are not Microsoft things. Like, Microsoft owns the infrastructure for computers for the most part, unless you have an Apple like a weirdo because you want to create some videos on a shitty program. Hate Apple. But Microsoft realizes if they go this way, they just win gaming. Like, they win the gaming world if they go the route of play anywhere, anytime with anyone, because their infrastructure in the PC landscape and beyond is so much greater than anything Sony can do. So essentially they're saying, yeah, have fun selling your PS5, Sony. We don't care about console wars anymore. We've got people playing Xbox Game Pass on their freaking $4,000 gaming PCs. So have fun with your damn consoles. Brandon says I play PC games exclusively on Linux. Shut up, Brandon. Just, you know what I'm trying to say. You get my point. I know he doesn't. But it's
my question is though, is if this is going to be the home server that you say it's going to be, why does it still have a disk drive?
Yeah, I don't know. Because there are still going to be people that have physical copies of games, or people want to buy collector's editions and shit like that.
It's not even just that. It's also
for their CDs.
For media. Yeah, like if you want to, they're kind of doing that, include legacy hardware, because you still want to be able to play your CDs. You want to be able to play your DVDs. You want to be able to,
If you want to pop it,
I don't.
You
don't. I don't care.
If you want to be able to pop in your Creed Human Clay CD, you'll be able to do that with the Xbox Series X.
Sure.
Well, but I mean, to give you an example, like there's things that you physically, well, I say physically, I actually mean digitally. You cannot get certain things digitally anymore on certain things. My biggest example is the movie Dogma. It does not exist in a digital format. And it will never exist in a digital format because it's in like a rights hell right now.
Right.
So if you want to watch the movie Dogma, you got to pop in I think the Blu-ray is like $100 or a $5 DVD. So certain things like that happen. For example, if I want to watch my graduation DVD, I can't go to my digital graduate. It's on a DVD. I would never want to do that. But you know what? I'd like the option to.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'm buying this console, that like I probably have something else that can do those things also.
Not always, not usually, but it's. I think it's more for
consolidation.
Yeah, it's more for consolidation, and this is more for like honestly, what'll end up happening is if I buy this thing, I'm gonna put this downstairs. And I'm going to use this on my home network to play on my PC on my monitor upstairs. Is most likely what I'm going to do, and just hardwire everything so my kids can play it downstairs if they want to, unless they somehow save up some goddamn money and buy their own damn Xbox. I swear to God, I'm just going to buy them one for Christmas. We already hit our budget of what we're supposed to spend on them, but they're going to unwrap an Xbox at Christmas, and Kara's going to get pissed, and she's just going to have to deal with it. But like, just to have it downstairs, we can get rid of the DVD player. We can consolidate all the stuff, which we already kind of did because I did move my Xbox downstairs recently. But I can have that, and having it set up as a home network, having it set up as a gaming server and a home gaming server, I can then play upstairs the games that I want to play relatively seamlessly without really any issues at all, and I don't have to have the console up here with me. And then if I want to go play in 4K resolution on my awesome TLC TV with HDR10, I can do that too. There's not a lot of games that I care to play at that resolution, but Destiny has been one, and it's been fun.
Sleepless is asking, do you think you'll be able to run Steam on the new Xbox? Almost exclusively, no.
Yeah, probably not.
It's a competing marketplace. Now it could do things. Microsoft has already teamed up with Discord, so it can do things like seeing what your Discord friends are playing and be able to say, hey, I know they're not on a Microsoft game right now, but your buddy's playing, this game on his PC. In fact, the Xbox already does that. So when we have friends that are logged in playing World of Warcraft, if they're signed into like any account, it says, hey, they're playing World of Warcraft right now. So you'll be able to see, like,
you hear that, Mackie? We're watching you.
What is this? Let's dub a new word for it. Let's call it your friendosphere.
Your friendosphere.
Your friendosphere.
It's a terrible name. I hate
it.
I get what you're saying.
It'll catch on. Don't worry about it.
No, it won't. Not even a
little bit. I don't think you're going to be able to do anything like Steam. Again, they have their own marketplace. That's a big, just like, I don't know why you would invite your competition into that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what they're doing with Game Pass, a lot of the games that you would buy on Steam, you can play for free if you pay the money for Game Pass. So I don't know why they would want to do that. Game Pass is the most incredible thing. I love Game Pass so much, and the more they keep expanding it, and the more the Microsoft universe expands, the more Game Pass is going to expand, and I freaking love it so much. Stephanie, you look like you were about to say something.
No, I'm agreeing. Game Pass right now, I think, is going to be more of the future, and they even talked about this years ago, where they do believe a lot of gaming is going to go the subscription route. Mm-hmm. It's going to just be interesting to see.
Totally fine with that.
I am and I'm not at the same time. So right now we have Game Pass, which was like Netflix many moons ago. Mm-hmm. So many moons ago, there was one service to watch things on, and it was Netflix. And it was a great value with great content. You could watch almost anything for like $7 a month. That's what Game Pass is right now. It's dirt cheap with a ton of content on it. Soon enough, Sony's going to enter throw their hat in the game and come out with a service and say, look at these games that you can only get on our version of the streaming service.
They kind of have that now, but not really with PlayStation Now.
The PlayStation Now is a little different.
PlayStation Now is a pile of garbage.
Because you actually still have to buy most of the games on PlayStation Now.
No, not if you pay for the subscription. You can play any game on PlayStation Now if you pay for the subscription. I did it for a month, and it was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. Just absolutely the worst experience. It was my first experience with game streaming, and I was like, this is terrible. This is god-awful. I'm trying to play Inhuman, and I cannot play because Inhuman is impossible to play with this much lag. And I had it for like a month, tried out a bunch of different games. It was a pile of garbage, and so I didn't think xCloud was going to work because of it. And lo and behold, Microsoft once again did something better than Sony. Who would have known? But PlayStation Now is an absolute pile of garbage subscription service.
Well, that aside, I guarantee you they're going to try to revamp the system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I think, other companies or places, individual companies I could see definitely doing it. Activision going like, buy the Activision yearly PC subscription. You'll get your Call of Duty and something else every year. Or
it's
the
just
EA.
It's just Call of Duty.
EA already has that now. Like, the EA Origins has like a subscription style service where you can get the vast majority of the EA games. Mm-hmm. So I'm fearing that gaming with the subscription style will hit the head that the streaming services are hitting now. Yeah.
Where you're gonna have like 6 of them.
Prices are getting right, and not only that, prices are going to get dirtier. Mm-hmm. Some people will try to jump in the ring at low price points like Disney Plus, but then you have services that have established themselves and saying, you're not going to get rid of us. We're Netflix. We're going to charge you, I don't know, what are we at now? $40 a month? It's fucking ridiculous. It
feels like it. They're increasing the prices again, I think, too. Brandon says, but Call of Duty sold the rights to Pro League to Sony. Feels bad. Yeah, that does feel bad. Like, I don't know why at this point, if you're any company, why you would want your game exclusively on Xbox as an esport. Like, it needs to be on PC for the most part if you want it to be a successful esport. But now you got a bunch of freaking PlayStation bros playing in Call of Duty League, and Call of Duty League is actually it's fairly fun to watch. But like, if they played against guys that play all the time on PC, they'd get their shit kicked in. It would just happen. Any final thoughts on the Xbox Series X and the future of gaming? I think I had other notes, but I forgot what they were. Nope, I got through everything. Yay, go me. Any other final thoughts? None whatsoever? All right, that was the shortest conversation we had all night. And that was supposed to be our main topic, but I still think it was a really good conversation. I did not realize we were going to go long on all this stuff, but more content for us, that's more for me to clip and put out there for everybody. We appreciate you guys watching. I am Josh Beard. He is Stefen Mazzone and Brett Schoonover. It's Tooth Pete. What do you want to be known as, Stefen? Do you want to be known as Mason, or do you want to be known as Infamous Knight, or do you want to be known as just Stefen? What do you want to be known as?
The Bearded Wonder.
Nope, it's Stefen now.
The man who will not wear spandex.
We're not using it. It's just Josh, Brett, and Stefen.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, we appreciate that. We're Nerded Up. You can find, I don't know why I was about to do our names for all the branding and shit. I don't know why I did that. We need to fix this. All right, this is a problem. You can find us at Nerded Up Pod on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube at Nerded Up, and on Twitch it's Nerded Up Pod. Go follow us, subscribe, smash that like button, and subscribe to everything that you can. We appreciate you guys for watching us, especially Sleepless Elite and Lone Exile. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week, and I'm going to drop our Worst Games of 2019 video on either Tuesday or Wednesday, so look for that. Channel Zero says spandex merch. I'm in. Yeah, we're gonna get Stefen to model his new spandex line, a new Nerded Up spandex line, and Stefen's gonna model it for us, for everybody. All right, we appreciate you guys watching. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Everything I wear is spandex.